Go straight to our forecast. Brittany is here. I did see some sprinkles on my windshield this evening, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Maximum that we're going to see overnight. Although I will say some areas off to our west, especially toward the Atlanta area, are dealing with some storms. We could see some lingering light rain for that, but it'll be while most of us are sleeping. Okay. In fact, if you're up watching at 11:15, you're probably not going to be awake at 2 o'clock when these do arrive in the area. Of course, right now you can see on satellite and radar, we're watching some of that rain. Again, this is not going to be a widespread risk, but I have bumped up our rain chances from overnight, which were originally at about 20% to now upwards of 30%. So again, not much of a significant change. And we are going to be tracking a decent amount of rain over the next few days, but we do actually desperately need it. First things first, let's talk about how warm it is right now. Temperatures reaching the low 90s earlier today. Right now, most spots in the low 80s here in Charlotte. In fact, the current temperature sits at 82. Our average high, folks, is 81. So it is almost midnight, and we are still above that average high. Now, the mountains a little bit cooler thanks to some rain-cooled air earlier. They were in the 80s as well, but quickly dropping into the 70s and now 60s overnight. So here's the current setup. We have a tiny little trough of low pressure here. That's what was causing some of that earlier rain in the mountains, and eventually did reach some of the Charlotte metro, mainly north of the city, but about 20% of a few brief showers earlier, of course, this evening. Right now, you can see some heavier rain as we move out of Salisbury, out of Rowan County, and toward the Greensboro area. But again, as I showed you, there is a much wider swath here of rain and storms over toward Atlanta. If that can hold together, it's approaching Charlotte by 2 o'clock in the morning. So again, not a huge impact for us tomorrow morning. And in fact, most of Thursday stays dry. We have a very small chance of a brief strong thunderstorm, especially Thursday afternoon, mainly along an approaching cold front. I do think, though, that the bigger impact here will be Thursday night and into very early Friday morning, as we'll be tracking some light rain. When we see a really significant dry spell, anytime you get rain right afterwards, there's a ton of debris, a ton of oil on the road. So that can actually allow for more slick spots when we've been under that significant dry spell. And again, as of right now, it's 17 days and counting. Will be 18 unless we have official rainfall that falls at Charlotte Douglas tomorrow. So again, right now, my thought process here, Thursday afternoon, we start to see some storms in the mountains, mainly overnight impact for Charlotte, mainly gusty winds, localized flooding. But again, this is really just the best chance of rain we've had in quite some time. But Thursday is really just the start of what we'll see for multiple days. And a lot of this will have to do with what's happening in the tropics. And I'll show you why in just a second. But what I want you to know is Tropical Storm Umberto formed earlier today. It is not by itself a threat to the United States. But what we are watching is the same cold front that brings us rain tomorrow and again on Friday is going to stall just off the Carolina coast and eventually interact with Umberto, which is this little system here, and our potential next system, which would be Imelda. Now, when you have two systems close by, the Fujiwara effect comes into play, which is when these two dance around each other and one typically pulls the other away. And so that is going to create some big question marks with our forecast here in the near term. But as of right now, I want us to prepare for a cold front lingering nearby, multiple chances for rain, and potential increased tropical moisture by late next week. That could increase our rain chances, but as of now, a direct impact does not look likely. But again, when the Fujiwara is in effect, when we have two systems nearby, that does throw an extra wrench into the forecast. Here's your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Make sure you're staying tuned to the updates over the next few days. Expect a lot of them. Right now, I'm going pretty conservative with rain chances early next week. Eventually, though, in that 7 to 10-day forecast, we will see some slightly cooler and drier air.